help me and get me pure and help me to get pure and get better. And that was like July, August, September, October, November, 5 months ago, you know, whatever. It's just, you know, to keep me waiting, keep me, what, I don't know, it's just been bullshit so far, Leo. It's been nothing but talk. All you've done is just feed me shit. Nothing you have said at all has done or shown me anything except talk. Just like you said, talk is what it is. Well, that's all you have done. And so I don't trust you. I wish I could, because still in the back of my heart there's part of me that hopes, that wants you to be right, to be real, to be good. And even if you weren't good or raised good, which I know you weren't, and I know that you've been a victim since you've been a baby. You were taken out of the womb before your mother even got, she didn't even get to know she was pregnant with you, so you never even got to feel the glory or the joy of the mother finding out she's pregnant. You know, how a baby feels that in the womb, you know, or the love or anything. Like, he never even got to feel that. He was taken out before he was like, even before he was even 3 months inside her womb. And PINDAR behind this, you know, I thought PINDAR wanted to change and becoming human and learning love, and I know, you know, I wanted to keep that hope in my heart. But so, you know, I try to, like, for everybody that does bad things, I try to find a way to understand why they did it so that they can be forgiven as long as they change and do the right thing. You know, but me and Leo are the only ones with this aura that is inhabitable for reptilians that aren't not inhabited, except for my Master Mason. My Master Mason was inhabited by Draken for 20 years, but he's not now, but now he's just a puppet. He's not even, just whatever. But so me and Leo are the only ones that have this aura, this energy field that's compatible to be inhabited by reptilians. And Leo is the youngest. He's 26. So he says. I don't know what to believe. It's hard to know, because even if you think something that you might be right about or might be wrong, if you can't validate it or confirm it, you could spend years driving yourself crazy thinking you're crazy because you can't validate whether you're right or wrong. And then find out years later that you were right about something, but all those years wasted driving yourself crazy and hurting and suffering and being in pain and feeling bad and just bad about, you know, because, you know, you can't always, not being able to get an answer to validate things, you know. So I found out that, you know, I've been right about a lot of stuff, but I've been wrong about stuff too. But, you know, if I could get pure, then I would have my ESP back, and then there would be no errors, and then I would be able to know if somebody was lying to me. I'd be able to know. Nobody would be able to lie to you. If you were psychic, nobody would ever be able to hurt you, because you would know ahead of time and be able to stop it. Our natural state, the way we were created to be, is to have that, to regenerate ourselves, self-heal, to be able to, you know, there's so much more that was created with us in our blueprint, you know, of creation, that has been taken from us or hidden from us and used by them, you know, inhabiting human bodies. Like in Genesis, genitals, genealogy, you know, the snake and Eve, the snake was PINDAR. Okay, it was a reptilian impregnating a human woman and then making that bloodline so that the other reptilians could inhabit. And there's a whole bunch of reptilians that are like in this cold, dark abyss place that they have never even been in here or ever even inhabited a human body. The reptilians, cold-blooded, they hate that, okay? The reptilians hate being cold. And when they say hell, you know, burning hot and stuff, you know, because when they inhabit a body or they do a sacrifice or take a portion of your soul and trap it in the prism or in the talisman or whatever. But the Luxor dollar bill with the pyramid on it with the light is the brightest light in the world, and it's the Tesla energy that but it's burning hot even when they're disembodied. So to them, You know, they know that, you know, hell, to burn, to hurt. Because if you give up your soul, whether it's in this life or past lives, because we're recycled over and over and over. You know, I don't know how they did it before, but the light in the Luxor goes straight up into the sky, and the moon, the dark side of the moon is like a purgatory. It's like a graveyard, okay? You know, where, you know, like, it's graveyard, you know, basically. And then the bright side of the moon, if you look up lunar mare, lunar, L-U-N-A-R, mare, M-A-R-E, or lunar Marie, okay, list of lunar mare or Marie on the moon, you will look at all of its oceans, swamps, and lakes. The moon is completely water, and every one of them are incubation chamber. The lake of sorrow, the swamp of misfortune, you know, everything. Look it up. Lunar mare or lunar Marie, the list of lunar mare on the moon, and you will see that's an incubation chamber, and then they've been recycling us, reincarnating us back, and the reptilians, their memories are intact for thousands of years at a time. So when they leave the human host that they inhabit, then they go into another human body, but their memories are still intact. So they've had the technology and the science all through time and have known that. And then, you know, like ancient Egyptian or Lemira or Atlantis or things like that, you know, like when our technology and everything was so high and we knew and had all these, like Atlantis, you know, knowing how to work the crystals and the magic and the god powers and stuff, and then all of a sudden it just disappears, you know, and we go back to being, you know, like that, you know, because they get that, you know, they let us develop in, like with the computer, you know, and everything now, all our information, they're taking all of that from us, and then one day they're going to pull the plug and all the computer, everything's going to be scrambled. We won't be able to use the computers, we won't be able to use the cell phones. We have put so much into the computers and cell phones. The books, they have a chemical they deliberately put on the books so that in 100 years they will be dust. So that our history, you know, cannot be, you know, erasing our history. So then when we come back and we don't remember them, we don't know. And especially when they tell us that reincarnation isn't real, you know, so we're like, you know, but we are here now, we've been there then, they keep doing this to us over and over. The reason we only use 3 to 7% of our brain is because that's how much they've taken from us, is the 97% they've got. Okay, now it's getting close to like 99%. You know, and PINDAR in his letters describes this to me too, about how they have downloaded everything. And he describes in complete detail in these thousands of letters that I have about mind control. And my master mason, I've been a surgeon with him before, I've been to his office after. I mean, I've been there firsthand and seeing, and I've got, you know, all this information, and I was going to be mad at you guys and just not read them to you, but I guess I will, because I just got my camcorder yesterday after all this time, so I guess I might as well make use of it. But the point is I'm not staying in Vegas anymore for Master Mason. I'm not going to help him anymore because he ain't going to help me, and he ain't going to help himself or anybody else. And he willingly knows, he knows that people, children are suffering and dying and being tortured by, you know, with him, by him, for him. The phallus of the dragon, okay, the sex thing, this is how they control so many people. But my Master Masons get more and more perverted as time goes, you know, and the animals and children, and he's like, children, animals, you know, children. Suffer thy children. What that means. Go to look online, the 1611 King James Bible. At the very beginning, before you start Genesis, the very first Bible was published, edited, and compiled by Queen Elizabeth I, who is the same reptilian that had Queen Elizabeth II, and King James was Queen Mary's son, but it's Queen Mary, they cut her head off. So the King James Bible, you know, after he became king, after Elizabeth I, she didn't die, that body got old, and so she had to move into a new one. George W. Bush was George Washington. You know, over and over they've taken bodies all through time. God, I'm starting to tell you things and not finishing. I think. there's so much I want to say to you guys, especially since my emotions are intact right now, because if when my heart is not, when my heart isn't, when I can't feel it, you know, when my heart is not intact, then when I'm not feeling my heart chakra, when it's not fun, you know, when my heart doesn't feel that much love, then I'm not inspired, and then I don't get around to doing things, you know. The depth and the sincerity and the emotion is what keeps you keeps you inside your body, your heart. The only way to keep these reptilians out of you is to keep your heart active with love, and it's hard to do when there is no love. You know, but by time, you know, my heart, actually right now, my heart is more active, and I'm feeling more love and emotion.